Welcome, miladies of inestimable value. The truth is like a lion. You don't have to defend it. Let it loose, and it will defend itself. St. Augustine. Now, imagine being the lion that roars so unapologetically real. It sends every pretender in the jungle running for cover. That's the Sigma female. She's the human embodiment of authenticity, a force so raw and unfiltered that fake people can't decide whether to envy her or fear her. Spoiler alert, they usually end up hating her. Here's the kicker. Studies show that people with high emotional intelligence often trigger discomfort in those who live behind masks. Why? Because realness has a way of making the fake crumble faster than a cookie in hot tea. The Sigma female doesn't just walk into a room, she dismantles illusions without lifting a finger. Fake people hate her, not because she does anything to them, but because her mere existence serves as a spotlight that exposes every crack in their facade. And if you think this is just another overblown description, keep watching, because by the end of this you'll see exactly why the Sigma female is every fake person's worst nightmare. Wrapped in elegance and sprinkled with I don't care what you think energy. Let's dive into the brutal truth, shall we? Number 1. They're unintimidated by intimidation. Fake people often use intimidation as a tool to manipulate others. They rely on fear, social pressure, or passive-aggressive tactics to silence opposing voices and maintain control. For most people, this strategy works because intimidation plays on insecurities and the natural desire to avoid conflict. But Sigma females don't respond the way fake people expect. A Sigma female is calm, composed, and completely unimpressed by scare tactics. Her confidence isn't loud or performative, it's quiet, deeply rooted, and impossible to shake. This makes her immune to the kind of games fake people play. When confronted with intimidation, she doesn't flinch, overreact, or scramble to prove herself. Instead, she holds her ground with an air of self-assurance that leaves her opposition feeling powerless. This unshakable demeanor doesn't come from arrogance or the need to appear strong. It's a byproduct of knowing who she is. Sigma females don't fear rejection, confrontation, or the loss of superficial relationships because they've built their lives on authenticity, not approval. Fake people hate this because it completely disarms their weapon of choice. Their attempts to intimidate fall flat, leaving them exposed and frustrated. What's worse, this dynamic often flips the power balance. When a fake person tries to intimidate a Sigma female and fails, their insecurity becomes glaringly obvious. They end up feeling smaller, weaker, and more vulnerable, which fuels their resentment even further. A Sigma female doesn't just resist intimidation. She turns it into a mirror that reflects the insecurities of those who use it. This is why fake people find her presence so unsettling. She isn't playing their game, and worse, she makes them painfully aware of the fact that the game they're playing doesn't work on everyone. Number 2. Their authenticity burns through facades. Sigma females operate with a rare and unyielding sense of authenticity. They don't mold themselves to fit societal expectations, sugarcoat their words to please others, or compromise their values to blend in. This raw honesty is not just refreshing, it's disruptive. For fake individuals who build their lives on appearances and hollow performances, the presence of someone so unapologetically real feels like a threat. Authenticity is powerful because it strips away illusions. When a Sigma female enters a space, her genuine nature acts like a spotlight, revealing the inconsistencies and cracks in others' facades. Fake people thrive on maintaining a curated image, but her refusal to engage in pretense exposes just how shallow and performative they are. It's not something she does deliberately. It's simply the effect of her being true to herself. This exposure leaves fake individuals feeling vulnerable and defensive. They scramble to protect their false image, trying to overcompensate with exaggerated behavior, forced charm, or petty attempts to discredit her. Yet none of it works because a Sigma female isn't swayed by appearances or manipulation. Her truth cuts deeper than their pretenses, making them painfully aware of how superficial their lives really are. What makes it worse for them is that authenticity inspires others. When people see a Sigma female thriving without bending to societal norms or fake alliances, they start to question the need for pretense in their own lives. This shift in perspective threatens the power that fake people hold, leaving them desperate to regain control. In the end, it's not just that Sigma females burn through facades, it's that they force everyone else to see what lies beneath them. And for fake individuals, that's the ultimate discomfort. Number 3, they see through hidden motives instantly. Fake people survive by hiding their true intentions, weaving manipulation into their words and actions to achieve their selfish goals. For most, these tactics work because they go unnoticed until the damage is done. But with a Sigma female, that manipulation never gets off the ground. Her sharp intuition acts as a radar, instantly detecting hidden motives and unspoken agendas. This ability isn't just luck, it's the result of a deep understanding of human nature. Sigma females observe more than they speak, picking up on subtle inconsistencies in behavior, tone, and actions. They don't need someone to admit their intentions because the clues are already there, laid bare in ways others often miss. Fake people hate this because their lies, which usually glide under the radar, are exposed before they even fully form. When a Sigma female spots manipulation, she doesn't always call it out directly. Sometimes her silence is her weapon, making the manipulator painfully aware that their attempt has failed. Other times, she dismantles the facade with brutal honesty, leaving no room for excuses or justifications. Either way, fake people are left with a deep sense of frustration and anger, knowing they've lost the upper hand. This inability to fool a Sigma female creates a toxic resentment in fake individuals. They thrive on controlling others, and when that control is denied, it exposes their vulnerability. A Sigma female doesn't just see through manipulation, she makes it clear that she cannot be used or deceived. This unshakable awareness doesn't just protect her, it also threatens the very foundation of how fake people operate, leaving them feeling powerless and enraged in her presence. Number 4, they inspire real admiration from others. Fake people live for admiration, but their need for it is driven by shallow performances and a desperate hunger for validation. They carefully craft personas, inflate their achievements, and surround themselves with people who will feed their egos. But the problem is, admiration built on pretense is fleeting. It rarely runs deep or feels genuine. In contrast, Sigma females don't seek admiration at all, yet they effortlessly earn it. Their authenticity, independence, and quiet confidence naturally draw people in. They don't try to impress anyone. They simply live by their values, pursue their goals with purpose, and refuse to conform to external expectations. This genuine approach to life resonates with others, creating an aura of respect that fake people can never replicate. What makes it even worse for fake individuals is the type of admiration a Sigma female inspires. It's not superficial or rooted in envy. It's the kind of respect that lasts, built on substance and character. People are drawn to her because of who she is, not who she pretends to be. This stark contrast exposes the emptiness behind the fake person's constant showmanship, leaving them feeling inadequate and overshadowed. For fake people, watching a Sigma female effortlessly capture the respect and attention they've been chasing their entire lives is infuriating. It's a reminder that authenticity can't be faked and that real connections can't be forced. A Sigma female doesn't just steal the spotlight, she does it without even trying, making fake individuals painfully aware of the futility of their own efforts. This unintentional dominance is why fake people harbor such deep resentment toward her. It highlights everything they lack and can never truly have. Number 5, they make fake connections feel hollow. Fake people often thrive in relationships built on convenience, mutual pretense, or superficial charm. These connections are rarely about genuine care or mutual understanding. They're transactional, existing to serve egos or provide social leverage. To them, these shallow relationships feel sufficient because they've never experienced anything deeper. That is, until they encounter a Sigma female. When a Sigma female steps into their world, the contrast becomes glaring. Her interactions are rooted in honesty, substance, and intentionality. She doesn't engage in small talk for appearances or maintain relationships out of obligation. Every conversation she has and every connection she builds is meaningful and authentic. This depth is not just refreshing, it's disarming. Fake people who are used to skimming the surface of relationships suddenly find their interactions feeling hollow and insignificant. This realization is unsettling for them. A Sigma female's presence acts as a mirror, reflecting the emptiness of their connections. It's not just that she doesn't play their games. It's that her way of relating to others exposes just how shallow those games really are. The comparison leaves them feeling inferior, as their carefully constructed social circles start to feel less like achievements and more like facades. What's worse is that others often notice the difference too. When people interact with a Sigma female, they begin to question the depth of their own relationships. This shift can weaken the influence fake people hold, as their shallow connections no longer satisfy or inspire trust. Ultimately, a Sigma female doesn't just make fake connections feel hollow. She makes people crave something real, and in doing so, she dismantles the power that fake people depend on to maintain their image. Number 6. They refuse to be controlled. Control is the lifeblood of fake people. They manipulate narratives, relationships, and social dynamics to keep others under their influence. By steering situations to their advantage, they maintain an illusion of power and control over their environment. But this strategy collapses when they encounter a Sigma female. She doesn't just resist control, she refuses to even acknowledge its existence. Sigma females are fiercely independent, both in thought and action. They operate on their own terms, guided by their principles and inner strength. They aren't swayed by peer pressure, social expectations, or manipulative tactics. This self-reliance makes it impossible for fake people to box them into a narrative or mold them into something they're not. Attempts to manipulate or dominate a Sigma female are not just futile, they often backfire, leaving the fake individual frustrated and exposed. What makes Sigma females particularly challenging for fake people is their unpredictability. Fake individuals rely on patterns and predictability to control others, but Sigma females don't follow anyone's script. They make decisions based on their own logic, often defying societal norms or expectations. This refusal to conform renders fake people powerless, as they can't anticipate or direct her next move. Even more infuriating for fake people is that a Sigma female doesn't need their approval. While fake individuals thrive on validation and social leverage, she remains indifferent to both. She doesn't seek acceptance, nor does she fear rejection, which dismantles the core tools fake people use to control others. In the end, Sigma females' refusal to be controlled is a direct challenge to the foundation fake people build their lives on. By simply living authentically and independently, they disrupt the power dynamics fake individuals depend on, leaving them flustered, insecure, and deeply resentful. Number 7. They outwork the performers. Fake people thrive on appearances. They invest their energy in creating the illusion of success rather than pursuing genuine accomplishments. Whether it's exaggerated claims of their abilities, superficial networking, or flashy displays meant to impress, their focus is on being seen rather than actually delivering results. But this shallow approach falls apart in the presence of a Sigma female who values substance over spectacle and proves it through consistent, quiet effort. Sigma females don't broadcast their grind or seek validation for their work. They move with purpose, often flying under the radar, but their results speak volumes. While fake people waste time curating an image, a Sigma female is building something real, whether it's her career, personal growth, or relationships. Her focus, discipline, and relentless work ethic expose the superficiality of those who rely on shortcuts to get ahead. This stark difference creates tension. Fake individuals who are used to coasting on charm and pretense find themselves outpaced and overshadowed. The Sigma female's achievements aren't just impressive, they're irrefutable. There's no room for debate or spin because the evidence is in the outcomes. Her success highlights the emptiness of the fake person's performance, making their efforts to impress seem trivial and hollow. What's worse for fake people is that others start to notice. People are drawn to the authenticity and results-driven mindset of the Sigma female, leaving fake individuals scrambling to keep up or maintain relevance. Her quiet but steady climb proves that genuine work and integrity will always outlast showmanship. In the end, a Sigma female doesn't just outwork the performers. She dismantles the illusion that performance alone can sustain success, leaving fake people exposed and deeply resentful of her presence. Number 8. They reflect back the truth. A Sigma female's authenticity forces everyone around her to confront the truth about themselves, whether they want to or not. She is unapologetically real, grounded in who she is, and unaffected by the masks others wear. This genuine nature acts like a mirror, reflecting back the essence of those she interacts with. For fake people, who live behind facades and carefully curated illusions, this reflection is unbearable. Fake individuals depend on their ability to control how others perceive them. They avoid introspection, relying on external validation to distract from their own insecurities. But when faced with a Sigma female, they can't hide from the reality of who they are. Her presence exposes the gap between their projected image and their true selves. It's not something she does intentionally. It's a natural consequence of her authenticity and refusal to play along with their games. This reflection is deeply uncomfortable for fake people because it shows them what they lack: genuine confidence, integrity, and purpose. It forces them to acknowledge the hollowness of their actions and the fragility of their constructed personas. Instead of admiration, which they so desperately seek, they find judgment, not from the Sigma female, but from their own conscience, now unavoidably loud in her presence. The resentment fake people feel toward Sigma females stems from this discomfort. Her authenticity not only exposes their insecurities, but also reminds others of the emptiness behind their masks. By merely being herself, a Sigma female disrupts their carefully balanced illusions, leaving them unable to escape the truth of their own reflection. For fake individuals, this is a confrontation they'd rather avoid, making her presence a constant source of tension and resentment. Number 9. They have zero tolerance for double standards. Fake people are masters of double standards. They hold others to expectations they don't follow themselves, often demanding respect, loyalty, or effort while offering none in return. They thrive on manipulating situations to their benefit, holding people accountable for their actions while allowing themselves to slip through the cracks. This behavior goes unchecked in environments where people are afraid to speak up. But it's a different story when a Sigma female is involved. Sigma females have no patience for hypocrisy or inconsistency. They don't play by the rules of those who manipulate others for personal gain. If a fake person demands something they aren't willing to offer, a Sigma female will point it out without hesitation. She won't sit in silence or pretend not to notice the discrepancy. She calls out double standards for what they are: an attempt to control and exploit others while avoiding responsibility for one's own actions. This blatant honesty creates instant tension. Fake people rely on these double standards to maintain their perceived superiority, and when confronted, they can't escape the uncomfortable truth. Their manipulation is exposed, and their control over the situation starts to slip away. What makes it worse is that a Sigma female doesn't need to make a scene. She doesn't need to fight or argue. Her mere recognition of the double standard is enough to shift the power dynamic, causing fake people to feel exposed and powerless. For fake individuals, being called out in this way is infuriating. It shatters their carefully constructed world where they are always in control, and it forces them to acknowledge the disparity between their words and actions. A Sigma female doesn't just call out double standards, she renders them irrelevant, making it impossible for fake people to continue operating the way they're used to, earning her their instant resentment. Number 10. They won't offer emotional validation. Fake people constantly seek emotional validation to prop up their fragile self-esteem. They fish for compliments, expect constant reassurance, and often manipulate situations to make themselves the center of attention. Their emotional well-being relies on the approval of others, and they use flattery or sympathy to keep their self-image intact. They want people to appease them, feed their egos, and provide a constant stream of emotional handouts, even if those gestures are shallow or insincere. Sigma females, on the other hand, don't play into this dynamic. They don't offer compliments unless they genuinely mean them. And they certainly don't fake empathy just to smooth over uncomfortable situations. For them, emotional validation isn't something they dole out casually or as a way to avoid conflict. They don't engage in empty gestures of kindness or pretend to care for the sake of keeping peace. Instead, they operate with emotional independence, providing validation only when it is deserved and earned. This makes fake people feel completely unsettled. They've learned to rely on the emotional support they manufacture from others. And a Sigma female's refusal to give them the emotional validation they crave exposes the cracks in their carefully built foundation. It forces them to confront the reality that their emotional needs can't be met through manipulation or surface-level interactions. Fake people hate this denial of their emotional handouts because it strips away their usual tactics for keeping others engaged with them. A Sigma female's unwillingness to indulge in emotional appeasement is an immediate wake-up call. Without that external validation, they're forced to look inward and realize that their emotional needs are hollow and unsustainable. For them, a Sigma female's refusal to cater to their emotional cravings is a direct challenge, and it creates a deep resentment, as they can no longer manipulate or control the emotional narrative around them. In a world where superficiality often reigns, Sigma females are a force of raw authenticity, and that very authenticity is what makes fake people recoil in bitterness. Their ability to see through pretenses, call out double standards, and refuse to cater to hollow emotional needs exposes the cracks in a world built on illusion. While fake individuals thrive on manipulation, appearances, and validation, Sigma females stand firm in their unwavering independence and integrity. They don't need to conform or seek approval. Their worth is self-established, and their actions speak louder than any performance could ever hope to. This truth cuts deep for fake people whose sense of control crumbles in the face of someone who simply refuses to play their game. The result is resentment, a resentment born from the discomfort of having their carefully constructed world exposed for what it is, fragile, empty, and incapable of withstanding the quiet power of a Sigma female's presence. Ultimately, Sigma females don't just disrupt the status quo, they dismantle the illusion entirely. In a world where fake people desperately strive for validation, dominance, and control, Sigma females remain unshakable in their authenticity, creating a ripple effect that forces others to question the value of their own facades. For fake people, this is the ultimate threat, a force they can't manipulate, control, or even comprehend. And that is why, more than anything, fake people hate Sigma females. If you found this insight into the world of Sigma females intriguing and valuable, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss another post. Don't forget to like, comment, and share your thoughts. Let's keep the conversation going and dive deeper into what makes these powerful individuals so unique. Your engagement means a lot, and sharing this with others helps spread the truth. Stay tuned for more content that cuts through the noise and brings you the real talk. Thanks for watching, my ladies. See you in the next video. Bye for now, and God bless.